All right, you have all finally taken the small, semi-hidden communications base controlled by the Batarians here on the planet of Rackham. Right away, wasting no time, Decimius is going to get to work doing what he has to do here. You've locked down the building, and you can actually hear the loud thump of weapons fire, of artillery fire on the outside. You can feel the building shaking, but Decimius doesn't seem concerned. He seems very confident that now that you've engaged lockdown, that there's nothing the Batarian ground forces can do to pierce it. Unfortunately, this does strand Arturo outside, but he can and probably should just leave. There's no way you can let him in.
Or he can just one at a time start picking off the Batarian forces remaining and just stay hidden.
Okay, well, that's a good way to get Arturo killed.
Okay, we'll keep him at a distance then.
Because he's going to fire one sniper shot, and then the entire Batarian ground force outside will know there's a guy out here
All right,
without you.
So we'll probably have him just remain hidden then and feed us reports on what the forces outside are doing.
He probably wants to either hide or just go back to the ship or something.
Or if they bring in like breaching charges or whatever, then you might want to know about that.
Yeah, I mean, he's your eyes on the outside, so that's pretty valuable. But yeah, Decimius is immediately just gets busy working on the computer. So you all have some time to kill.
Yeah, Aryn will say to him, if there's anything that any of my team can do, let us know.
Of course. Unfortunately, this is a bit of a one-man job, so it's just going to take a while.
All right.
It's more tedious than anything, to be honest.
I'm going to go find a towel, so I stop dripping. Because while, yes, under the suit she may be dry, her hair is still completely drenched.
Sean, really quick, Mass Effect lore, Batarian towels. What are they like?
Well, they have fur, so they probably have a lot. They probably have really nice towels because they have fur.
Okay, they have fur. There's no towels. When you go in there, there's a velocity dryer like they have at the PetSmart grooming salon. There's a velocity, like for dogs. Yeah.
Batarians have fur? This is news to me.
Yeah, their entire bodies are covered with micro hairs. That's why they have skin pigmentation differences.
Gotcha, micro hairs. Got it.
You hear the velocity dryer going off in the bathroom. For about a minute.
Yeah, seeing like Shepard's hair drenched, like Aryn would like peeking and go like everything okay? What happened over there?
Well, funny story. Their shower has an auto on after a period of time, but the temperature gauge is really nice. So.
And also, the toilet has an auto flush sensor too. And fun fact: grenades plus a bathroom fucking sucks.
What?
Ow.
Yeah, you're like digging bits of porcelain out of your leg from like a pipe bomb that shattered the toilet.
Considering I have literally 1 HP before the long rest, yeah, you're not wrong.
Is this big thing in the middle some sort of like war room or star map or something?
It is indeed. It is specifically a map of the orbit around Rackham. It is a tactical war map of the vicinity, the space, but like just around the planet.
Okay, Ray's going to start downloading basically all the information and forwarding it to Decimius. What the fuck? I'm fucking.
Decimius.
I brain fart his name is every time. Decimius, yeah.
Decimius.
And forward it all to him so he can forward it to the Turian High Command.
All right.
You know, like how many soldiers they have stationed on the planet, what their supplies look like, what the supply line looks like, stuff like that.
Oh, very useful. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when he starts receiving that feed, he goes, "What the? Oh, thank you very much. Well done, Rela. Or Ray.
We can prevent more people from dying here today. I'd like to do that.
Well said. Couldn't agree more.
This main room in the center, is that just like rec room chill?
Yeah, pretty much. There's food and there's an oven.
Yeah, I was trying to raid the kitchen.
Check for any like first aid supplies they might have here.
And grenades. Very much
Oh.
checking bodies for grenades.
Yeah.
Well, you find a lot of blue meat. It's Burgat, a traditional Batarian traveler's meal. I have some stupid
Delicious.
lore. Yeah. In looting the bodies, you find that anyone who had a pipe bomb threw it.
Bastards.
Unfortunately, like, they didn't conserve them. So, not everyone had one, and the ones who had one threw them. That's checking the bodies, though. Does anyone want to investigate, like, the building? See if
I
there's
will.
anything in the way of supplies?
Yeah, we're checking for supplies over here.
That was next step.
First aid or munitions.
Do you want like an investigation? Or...
Indeed, it would be investigation, yeah.
Well,
I guess not. I guess we find nothing.
that's what Arturo's here for.
Well, there's a chance. It's not great, but there is a chance.
My ears are still ringing a bit from the bomb in the bathroom, okay?
I mean, if someone wants to roll investigation for me,
I'm low on
'cause
calories.
I mean, I got nothing to it, but hey, you never know. Nat 20s happen.
I'm gonna give control of David's sheet to Mark. There we go.
Alright.
So that you can roll some skill checks once in a while if you want to. Roll and investigate with David.
Alright, one moment.
No problem. Take your time. That's a bit better.
Better than it is.
Would Eon have had advantage on that investigator? No.
No, I just didn't.
So it's an 8. Okay,
Yeah,
so
just
our
an 8.
highest is 12. Let's see. Oh, that's decent. You get better odds. All right, here we go. Very lucky. You find 2 Batarian pipe bombs. They deal 8d4.
I think I think David will point him out as he's like pulling like a good piece of porcelain out of his fucking like side. And he goes, oh hey, look, the Batarian air fresheners right there. Look at that. That's great.
You also find 5 metagel.
Oh, excellent.
Oh
Let's restock Ray's arsenal there.
phenomenal.
yeah, give it all to Ray.
Yep.
Well,
many-
I can only carry 5 at a time, right?
4 on
Perfect.
on the belt.
4. Okay, I have 2 metagel that I can divvy out to people who don't have one.
I gave all of my metagel away. I
I think
none.
I gave mine away as well, so Aryn can take one.
Yeah. I gave mine away as well, but you can give it.
Aryn will definitely get one because she's team leader type deal,
Yeah.
and Eon seems like she's going to probably be the target of interest most often, so I'll give her the other one.
I don't think I've ever applied a metagel to myself.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
more
but you
effective
having
than
it on
Ray's
you
hands.
means
Okay.
you
That's fair.
having it on you means if I run over to you and I don't have any, I can use yours to heal you. So
Fair enough. I will
All we
hold
are
it
to
for
Ray
you.
is just walking metagel carriers.
That's fair.
self-aiding metagel carrier.
You also find one more item of interest in the back. There is 1 Batarian military rocket launcher.
Ooh.
Along with 10 rockets. It requires an action to load and an action to fire. Firing it is 8d6 fire damage in a 20-foot radius with a 120-foot range.
Oh wow, little portable fireballs.
Pretty much.
Is it a save?
Now you can practice shooting me with them.
Is it a save or is it a to hit?
It is a save. It's a dex save.
Oh, that means any of us can use it effectively. Let's go.
I just want to say that someone who's a fast mover would probably be pretty good with that. Fast moving artillery strike is always good. But hey,
Does it require heavy
I
weapon
think-
proficiency to use?
It does.
never mind. Kronk gets a rocket launcher. Let's go, buddy.
Doesn't the human soldier also have that?
Oh yeah, there you go, Shep. Look at that. You get a brand new toy.
I sure do. That's
So it doesn't
ready.
require heavy
I've
weapon
made it.
proficiency. The DC scales. So let me get the DC in here. So
Welcome, Jojo.
I'll also gladly fall on that sword to take that pretty baby.
It looks gorgeous. I only wish I could use it.
So, Joseph, in case you didn't watch the VOD for last week, you're outside and we're all locked inside. And
I
you've
know,
got Karen all over the place.
I hopped in call and spoke with Ronnie and Danny and
Oh,
and
okay.
Ez.
As long as you're aware.
Yeah, no, I know. I know where I am. And that's perfectly okay. It just means I can do recon from out here. Depending on how many tech points I have left anyway.
Are we able to get a long rest in here?
you do, in fact, get a long rest.
Okay,
yes,
good.
and I would say that Arturo probably rests outside.
Yes. I need to check and see how long
We'll solo
detect
campaign.
invisibility lasts. Lasts an hour. Okay, good. And I did pick up detect invisibility, so if anybody shows up trying to be sneaky like I am, I will know.
So, I've got some details in there. The DC scales with the wielder's dex and heavy weapon proficiency. However, at the start of your turn, if the rocket launcher is already loaded when you start that turn, that at the end of that turn, there's a chance for it to explode. That's if you don't fire it. So basically, you can't load it and then walk around with it loaded.
Gotcha. We can't.
That's why they
preload
were
it.
loading it in. You might have noticed they were all loading it in combat
Mhm.
because it's unstable.
Makes sense.
Horribly inefficient.
Well, I mean, that's Batarian craftsmanship for you.
I think that's actually a great weapon for a Shepard. She's gonna do some real fucking damage with that.
I agree.
Because Kronk
Totally
uses a
not
hammer,
excited
right?
about that. He does.
Yep. So it's
But
all.
I don't-
Yep.
So
Enjoy your
basically,
movement.
if you load it with your action and then fire it next turn, there's no chance of it blowing up. It's only if you keep it. If you keep a rocket in the chamber, then you have a chance of it blowing up.
Makes sense.
Can somebody else use their action to load it and then you fire it?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh.
Nice.
You can absolutely do that. Yeah.
Cool. Cool.
Team loading. Yeah. I like it.
Yep. But if your turn starts with it loaded, you want to fire that thing. Because if
Yeah.
you don't, I'll be rolling a d6.
Now, I don't like the
You better
idea.
hope it's not a one.
I've seen enough of my squad mates try to blow up, and so I'm going to avoid that at all costs.
I'll be focus on Eon, which I understand because they were in the last two sessions. But it's not like she's the only one that's been shot with the freaking railguns.
True.
I think
That
at
is
this
very
point
true.
we've all been
Which-
shot by the railgun, haven't we?
I don't think I have.
I'd
Which I
much
will-
rather have it on
Yeah,
our
no.
side.
I will note you guys also got a unique weapon from the trappers, which is still on your ship, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The Gatling gun,
Yes.
which is huge and does a ton of damage, requires a lot of strength to use, and it has a chance to break at any time because it was ripped off a mech. but it's still just like sitting in your cargo bay. You also found the Z-Shot, which seems to be something similar to an adrenaline booster. You still don't know like exactly what it'll do because no one's used one.
We have 9 of them, and I was told from the research I did on them, I was told that they could kill you. So
They can. They can kill you.
I'm here to party. Stick one in.
Give most of them to Kronk.
They
As
give
soon
you
as we
a
get the new. Oh, sorry.
from your research, you know that they give you some kind of very significant boost to your combat ability, but there is a chance that they will kill you.
As soon as we get the new
like super
chemistry
hate.
set from the doctor, then Ray will look more into it.
Yeah. So I just thought I would remind people about the unique stuff you guys have, because now you have the
Nice.
rocket launcher as well. Yeah.
Appreciated.
If there was ever a time to use them.
Well. All right. So you guys you have quite some time to hang out in here. Arturo is probably just camped outside, keeping an eye on stuff.
Yeah.
Arturo, you see the Batarian ground forces kind of surround the building, and they're trying to get in, but there's nothing they can really do. Like, they're firing the railguns at it. They're throwing like pipe bombs at like the shuttered doors and windows. It's not doing anything. They cannot get in.
Good to know.
Yep. And you guys take a long rest. So you spend the night here, and I guess Arturo basically camps out behind that rock.
Yep.
You get your ghillie suit out or whatever, and just like spend the night out there.
I did
Do
not
they
mean
have
to do
any
that.
exterior cameras or anything?
Hmm?
Do they have any exterior cameras or sound systems or anything?
No, not with lockdown. Nothing exposed.
The railgun explosion probably destroyed a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's nothing exposed out there. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But yeah, next morning, you guys you get up the next morning. Maybe you've got some rations or something, or you want to eat some of the blue meat in the kitchen.
I've got food.
That sounds
Digging
really
around
concerning.
to see if they have coffee.
Hey,
Pretty sure
Ray.
Eon can cook.
Hey, Ray.
I'm sure they've got something with caffeine in it, but I don't know if I'd call it coffee.
Aryn's gonna eat one of her own ration packs rather than trust Batarian food.
Yeah. Hey. Do you know if this stuff is compatible with human beings?
Oh yeah. Batarians are like you and Asari and the rest of the races. The only two that have to worry about it are me and the Turians.
And
Do you know any? Do you know anything about this stuff?
Oh, I have no idea. It's standard issue military fare for Batarians. That's about all I know.
let's
It
make
probably
sure-
doesn't taste great,
let's
but it's
make sure
probably
that
good for you.
Let's make sure that our prisoners are fed, though.
Oh yeah, definitely give them some.
Oh,
know
we
what?
have
Fuck it.
prisoners.
Ray will use
Yeah.
one of her nutrient pastes with her emergency induction port.
I
Eon's
think-
proficient in cooking. She's gonna cook it up.
I think. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you attempt that. I'm gonna. Fuck it. Let's take a big step for mankind, huh? I'm gonna take a bite out of this blue shit. Fuck
Oh
it. I don't
boy.
care.
Well, it's a pretty traditional Batarian ration. It's called the other blue meat, usually,
Oh god.
Oh.
and
The
yeah,
first one.
That's not a good sign.
it's kind of gamey. It's a little chewy, like kind of rubbery.
Gross.
I think David sits there for a minute and just chews it a couple times, and he just like does that like nod. He goes, "Yeah, no, actually, you know what? This tastes like shit. Yeah, no, yeah."
No
Oh my
wonder
god,
we're
did you even make
angry
sure
all
it
the
was
time.
Did you even make sure it was cooked first?
It's a ration. What do you want from me? I mean, I'm not gonna swallow it if it's not cooked, but like, you don't test the ingredients when you cook at home. What the fuck?
That's the problem with unidentifiable meat, though. You don't know if it's cooked or not.
That's true. Well, all I know is it's really chewy and it's really gamey, and let me tell you something.
Batarians might eat their meat raw for all you know.
You know what? The aftertaste ain't that bad. I'm good.
I'd say you worry me, but really, this is just par for the course with you, David.
Okay, you know what? That's coming from you, Miss Red Vines. I don't want to hear that shit.
Arturo opens up his pack and pulls out a little container of spaghetti. Whatever. It's like he doesn't ever not have some on hand.
At some point during the night, Ray will give me 1 sec. Never mind. Go on with the memory.
Sorry, what?
Okay. At some point during the night, Ray will walk up to Decimius, and she'll kind of like pull out of her bag, like barely showing it, her Turian brandy, and she'll say, I know you probably shouldn't drink on the job, but I figured one drink for a job well done."
Oh, very generous of you. As a matter of fact, I think we're coming up on a perfect time for that. Why don't you hold on to it for the celebration?
Okay, I've had it for a while, so I figured if anyone was going to enjoy it, it would be you.
I would love to. In about a minute. And there we go. He puts his hands up. That'll do it. Pulls up his Omni tool. All right, move in. Everybody up.
What is happening?
Every Batarian ship just lost communication with one another. They're all blind. And he'll take the brandy and go and like sit on the floor with his back against this thing and go like, now we wait while a war is won above us.
Do we just wait to hear of news of a Batarian surrender?
Oh, it's gonna be quick. All those guys pounding on the walls outside, give it about 15 minutes before they realize how hopeless everything just got. Might take a minute for things to get down the chain, but and outside Arturo, you see the sky light up like a huge firefight starting in low orbit, and it looks very one-sided.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm not sleeping with all these lights.
Well, that's morning. It's like in the morning.
Oh, it's when we wake up after our long rest.
Yeah.
I just imagine the first one. It was like, ooh, a shooting star. Hey, another one. Oh, wait, nope, that's a war.
And after a little while, Decimius' Omni tool lights up, and you guys hear a Turian voice you don't recognize. Seems like someone high up in military command, being like, "Oh, well done, Decimius. We've taken everything in low orbit of Rockham. We're moving in on all the key strategic targets. We're expecting a surrender any time now. What's your status?" And he says, "Well, I'm locked in a box with a Spectre and her crew. There's a lot of Batarians outside that don't realize they already lost. We're waiting for them to figure that out." All right. And he looks at Aryn and says, "I don't know. It's kind of a matter of time now, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Do I have any communication with the guys inside the building?
Probably through your Omni tool, you guys can talk, I imagine.
Yeah, Aryn would say, "Great work, Decimius. Great work, everyone."
And he'll uncork the brandy and take a swig and go, "Oh, this is good stuff. Thank you very much, Ray."
Of course.
Aryn
Do you drink?
No, I haven't in a long time.
Well, what better occasion than now? Let's celebrate. Here, have a little.
Also,
I guess Ray will pull out a straw and put it in.
A straw? He's like, oh, you're adorable.
There's no other way she can drink it
They
without
kinda-
opening her suit.
They kind of.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's actually fair, yeah.
Emergency induction port.
Yep. And then she'll do the whole like first shot you've ever had thing where she probably drinks a little too much and then coughs her freaking lungs out.
Oh lord.
And he like pats her back like, hey there, you're all right. Boy, oh boy, a little bit of a lightweight, huh?
We've been trying to protect her from it for the most part. Seems our efforts weren't entirely successful.
I was
Ah,
gonna say, when did she get the booze?
Ray points at David and says, "He got him with me."
You didn't
David,
just call the man out like that.
David,
seriously?
David sits there, and honestly, this entire time, he's actually pulled out that old cigar case, and he's actually lit a cigar up, and he's just taking a long drag from it. And when everybody points at him, he just like looks at him like a deer in headlights and goes, "What? We were at a bar."
Damn it! I
Jeez.
wanted one of those cigars.
I got
I guess I can't say underage, but she's young. Really?
outside Arturo, you see a huge Turian vulture battleship come like flying down, its shadow cast over the ground, and the rail guns and the Batarians all aim their guns up before they see 4 more vultures coming in, and they all just start dropping their guns and putting their hands up, and some of them are like, where the fuck is our air support? What the and they just all like drop to their knees with their hands up because Turian warships are just descending now, completely unopposed.
They're like, oh hey, I think it's safe. I think it might be safe to come out now.
Yeah. So Decimius will lift the lockdown. He does it. He hits a few things on the keyboard and punches it, and all the shutters open, and the main power comes back on. And
Arturo
as the
walks
window, oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Arturo walks to the field of surrendered soldiers and goes up to the front door. She's like, well, time to join you guys.
Yeah, as the window shutters open, you guys see all of the Batarians outside, like with their hands up, and you also see multiple Turian vultures landing around you.
I was so ready for a really big fight.
We had one last time.
Yeah, it
I
was
know.
a very big fight.
I know, and I missed it. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry that you missed it. But the show must go on.
It must.
Yeah, once we're sure our landing area is secure, Aryn will call the Saratoga down to pick us up. Mission accomplished.
Yeah, the Saratoga is able to come over and land among the Turian vultures.
Okay, yeah, that's
That
what Ray
way we
was worried
can get
about,
the
it, whether or not they
space
identify
back
her as a
over.
friend or a foe.
No, definitely identified as a friend. Yeah, and Decimius will walk out with everybody. As he goes out, he waves at some of the Turian soldiers who are coming down off of the vultures, and he says, "Hey, we got some cargo for you." And he points at the 3 Batarian prisoners that you guys took. Got some more prisoners of war. And he kind of looks at Aryn and says, "I assume you don't mind.
Of course, all yours.
You didn't want to keep them."
No, we just wanted to keep them alive as a show of good faith.
Like I said, all the POWs we took will probably get traded in as part of the surrender deal, I'm sure.
Hopefully,
I would hope so.
the Batarians have been antagonized a very long time.
Yeah, they antagonize right back.
I know.
There are no winners in war. Everyone loses.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I prefer love. Everybody wins in love. And he kind of like raises his brows at Ray, like waggles him up and down a little bit.
Ray laughs.
Oh boy.
Aryn just like shakes her head at Decimius and says, "You are something."
Well, ladies, it was wonderful working with you. I believe we should all be heading back. I suppose we're going to the same place. Do you mind another passenger?
We'd be happy to give you a ride.
Lovely. And he will take you up on that and board the Saratoga along with the rest of you.
All right.
For coffee.
Huh?
Once on board, Lucille heads for coffee.
Let me just pull you over. Who am I missing? Oh, there we go. Okay. Whoop. Get back on the Saratoga.
Ian's gonna take a nice visit to the doctor because everything hurts.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a good idea.
Everything.
Despite the long rest, it was quite a time. Decimius kind of walks through the cargo hold looking around. It's an older ship, but it has some charm. I like how blocky human ships are. It's cute.
Oh, gee whiz! Thanks, you're making me blush. He goes upstairs.
They're like big boxes with thrusters. Not much for looking at, but efficient.
It may be old, but it's got legs, which I'm sure you can
Indeed.
appreciate. Longer range than any modern ship.
Oh, that was probably useful when more of the relays were down.
Ray will communicate to Aryn over a private, thing on their way back to the ship. It's best not to let Decimius know about the AI aboard. I know the Council is obviously aware, but I don't know how much the other species are aware that there's an AI aboard a human ship.
For all intents and purposes, Adam is a VI. Highly functioning VI.
Alright, just don't let him see that AI core.
That is the official story.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even quite sure that anyone. You've yet to actually get concrete proof. You're pretty sure it's an AI, but no one's called it that.
Yeah.
So officially, it is a VI. Yeah. Anyway, Decimius says, "It was a pleasure working with you, Spectre.
Pleasure likewise.
I'm sure you have many responsibilities to attend to, but should you want to get a drink sometime, let me know."
I appreciate the offer. I will say on the ground, you did talk about my team in a rather disparaging way, and it made me think.
Are you talking about the members of your team that disparaged me first? I am not unfamiliar with locker room talk, so to speak. I am a soldier, after all. I just responded in kind. Perhaps you shouldn't be so accusatory when they started things.
What I was going to say is that Spectre Ops are a little different than regular military. Everyone on my team is very highly qualified, and I trust them to know exactly what to do in any situation. That way I don't have to micromanage them, which is drastically different than how regular military works.
Sounds a bit chaotic.
If you have a team that's that you trust and that is capable enough, it orders itself out.
Can't say we don't get shit done.
It's just a different way of operating, and, well, the qualifications are much different.
So does your team make a habit of insulting those you work with?
If they don't like them.
I imagine that might get you in trouble someday. Fortunately, I'm very thick-skinned. In any case, if you'll excuse me.
And she'll give him a nod. Like, make yourself comfortable.
I plan to.
Just don't break our Quarian.
My,
Yeah.
what a
Who's
beautiful engine.
who's babysitting Ray?
We're not keeping that one, right?
That would be Engineer Adams, I think. Or Glover? Who is it? It's something.
Ryle.
Wow,
Glover.
you don't even know.
Glover.
your
I said
name.
Glover. It's Glover.
Oh, wait, no,
I said Glover.
Ryle
I said
It was Glover.
It was
I don't think he's
Glover.
capable of babysitting Ray.
Ray will kind of jump when he pops. This basically pops up next to her, and she's like, "Yeah, I've just recently gotten a hold of it, though. Engineer Glover here is the real expert." And she just gesture to him. Oh my god!
Is
Why would you do
that-
that for
Is
me?
that right? Mr. Glover, right? Pleasure to meet you. It's always nice to speak to a fellow engineer. He'll put out his hand, and Wolf Glover is like, yeah. He looks at Ray like, what the fuck are you doing?
I established in the first session, Ray doesn't realize that they don't know what they're talking about. So Ray is still under that that idea that they know what they're talking about. They're just messing with her.
Tell you what, Mr. Glover, I am myself also a certified engineer of the Turian military. Take a load off. I'm sure you've been working tirelessly during this whole operation. Go relax. Ray and I have things under control. And he's like, okay. I won't say no to that, I guess. He's gonna go to the mess hall or something. Now then, Ray. Can I call you Ray?
Yeah, my friends call me Ray.
I've got quite a bit of brandy left, and I feel like celebrating. I don't suppose you'd like to join me.
Yeah, I really shouldn't drink too much. This pile of tin comes apart mid-flight. Somebody needs to be able to fix it.
Oh, well, then we'll stay right here and keep an eye on things together. And
Okay.
he will he'll tap a few things on the console, and this door will close, and this door will close, and also this door, and as a result, the gunner inside is like, huh?
What the fuck?
She like turns
Oh,
around and is
no.
like, what? And then she shrugs and goes back to playing, she's playing like Wario on her Game Boy.
Aryn,
She is I got it. She's playing Wario Warrior Get It Together on the Nintendo Switch. She really likes like the super vintage Earth games, like really old school. Yeah. All right. Anyway,
Aryn is going to head to the bridge and tell him to set course for Palaven.
you got it, Captain. Quincy will
Make it
do
to,
that.
Did David make it up to to the dock
I'll put
to
him
make sure that he got all his shrapnel out?
Put him
Yeah,
over
yeah,
here with that one.
He literally just walked into there with like a half-smoked cigar and was just like, "Hey, Doc, I got a field day present for you. I'm covered in shrapnel."
Oh, not to worry.
Very
I've got just the thing for that. And she gets out a big roll of tape.
I'm just gonna look back towards Lucille and just be like, "If I don't make it, I died crying."
She lines your leg in tape and then rips it out, pulling all the shrapnel out at once. It's quicker this way.
It's like she's waxed. Takes all your leg hair with it too.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I want to scream. I feel like David's at that point where it hurts so much that he wants to scream, but he just does not have the capability of just letting it out. He's just silent, mouth open, just like.
Meanwhile, Dr. Bryson is just like glances over her shoulder at what's happening, and then like goes back to Eon because she's a xenobiologist, so she's the medic for the non-human members of the ship. And as she's helping Eon with her wounds in like a much more intelligent, more careful, more practiced way, she's kind of like, how does that woman still have a medical license?
Is that not normal for humans?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Oh, interesting.
Hasn't she almost lost it like 3 times or something?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, canonically she has. Yeah.
That's why she got stuck on this ship with the rest of the reject.
Thanks. Yep.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Given my backstory, I couldn't possibly.
Exactly.
Lucille has retrieved a cup of coffee and has gone into one of the cabinets and looks as if she had reached underneath and behind the facing and pulls out a second package, a fresh, unopened package of red vines.
Aryn says, I didn't see anything.
What I don't get is he says as he steps out of the infirmary for a moment and sees this. What I don't get is why you think you need to hide those when no one in this fucking galaxy but you eats them.
It's not anything about hide. Just
Honestly.
making sure I've got a stash. We could be deep space, and I'm not getting anywhere to get anymore. Just easier this way.
She was hiding them from herself.
And
Shut up,
failed
Arturo.
miserably.
Nobody asked you.
Failed miserably.
Felix rushes over to get in the captain's chair.
I hate
Yep,
him.
he has the bridge.
Captain's log. We have successfully liberated Rackham from Batarian invaders. This incursion was difficult on all of us. For the rest of my life, I will live with the nightmares of war, the screams, the cold of the trenches. I'll find a way to survive, but I'll never forget it. And as
Never
he's
mind.
doing this, Quincy is like, "You never left the ship. What are you talking about?"
Oh, thank God somebody called him out because I was going to.
Hey, Felix, just a quick question for you. What was it like getting zeroed in on by that railgun, by the way? That was intense, right?
Indeed.
Yeah. How many times did you get shot by that thing, by the way? I just gotta know. It's so crazy.
Just the one.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget this. Don't forget the stress of camping outside at night by yourself with the rest of it, with the enemy army, hoping that everything goes well in the meantime.
I'm gonna look at Quincy and just be like, "Hey, for the record, Quincy, just so you can keep him up to date on his bullshit, he's missing the other 3 shots that was mandatory for that thing to fire. One and done is not that railgun's thing."
Wish it was.
He amends his personal log to say he got shot 3 times.
Still missing the 4th one.
I feel like Sam loves the roleplay sessions just because he loves roleplaying all the buffoons that are on the ship.
Right?
I love the crew, dude. I made the silliest crew for you guys. He's making like a personal memoir. Future campaigns, you guys are going to find his autobiography, and it's going to talk about all the shit he did, and it's going to be everything you did, but all attributed to him.
And we're going to truly believe that he did it.
Yeah, he's
We
going
have
to
no
publish
source
it.
of evidence otherwise.
This man has a medal and a statue somewhere.
Yeah.
because the rest of us weren't allowed to talk about it, and this little fucker wouldn't shut his mouth.
He's gonna be like a best-selling author in the next campaign.
The only
It's
problem
gonna
is
be
he got
sci-fi Gilderoy Lockhart.
his autobiography. He
Oh,
got
God.
court-martialed for that autobiography though because he just
Yeah.
let out a lot of information he wasn't supposed to, but he still gets all the fucking all the fame.
We've joked about a campaign where a Spectre just sends his crew out to do all the missions for him and never actually does anything on his own. That's him.
Yep.
It really would be.
I can't wait for the next campaign where Aryn is still technically alive and is just sitting back going, "This motherfucker. Where's
Yeah.
my royalties?"
Kronk might have hunted him down and fucking killed him.
Meanwhile, in the engine bay, Decimius gets his bag off and starts to kind of like unpack a little bit, just getting some like daily use stuff out. And Ray, give me a perception check.
Oh crap! I walked away from my computer for 3 seconds, and you went straight to
wow.
me.
I gotcha. I'm
Thank you.
coming right for you, Sean. Yeah, you were going to get your WarioWare for the Switch.
What did I roll? Poorly?
Perception. I didn't
Oh,
see.
okay.
I didn't even see a roll.
I thought you said you rolled for me. Okay.
No.
No, we haven't.
All right.
You want me to? I can.
No, I got it.
Wow.
I noticed it.
Whatever it is.
Nice.
You see it.
Okay. So in his bag, you notice a sizable container of what looks like antibiotics, but you roll the 20, so you know exactly what that is. It is specifically all of the medication that a Quarian would need to start taking in preparation to be intimate with another species. He apparently just has this in his bag. There's a lot of it, too.
Need a beer.
I hate him. I hate him
He just has
so
it.
much.
I
He doesn't draw attention to it, but you see it.
Ray's gonna like those cough chokes that people do basically only in cartoons. Ray's gonna kind of do that,
oh god, baby Ray.
and then she's gonna try to divert the conversation away from her coughing, but inadvertently kind of make it worse by saying, "Have you met Tasty, by the way?" Gesture over to her AI.
No.
As a matter of fact, I have. It's a very beautiful choice. I myself went with the daring, gorgeous, and legendary Tally from Shepard's own crew. May she rest in
No.
peace. And he summons Darling, his one that looks like Tally.
Yeah, mine's actually based around the VI design of Garrus. So I'm
Oh yes, I
I know.
recognize him right away. He's a hero to our people.
Tally's a hero to ours as well.
What a coincidence! I really do.
I spit my drink out.
I really do like Quarians.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lonely galaxy, and there's only one other species that shares a lot biologically with you, and her hands are going nuts doing that like wrapping around each other thing.
Suddenly, in the engine bay, romantic smooth jazz begins to play.
I'm gonna fucking kill Adam.
Yes.
Son of a bitch.
And Decimius looks up and is like, "Huh? Oh, that's pleasant."
Did you do
Hey,
that?
No, I didn't.
Hey, Adam, good work on Careless Whisper.
Do we not have Kenny G Smooth Jazz down there? What is not?
Oh god damn it! That's really weird because a VI wouldn't do that without being asked to. So somebody must have done that. She's panicking. She's panicking very much.
Oh my god.
Perhaps it's a practical joke. Your crew seems like pretty humorous folks. I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah,
As he's speaking, he's leaning in closer.
No, I feel like anything Arturo or David did would be far more on the nose.
Yeah, they're troublemakers, but they're my crew. I like them.
Adam comes on comms up here, like in this main room where you guys are hanging out, and Adam says, hey, Captain, quick question. Just curious.
Go ahead, Adam.
What's the age of consent for Quarians?
Oh, dear god.
No reason.
Do you not have that in your database?
I love the idea that if she's below the age of consent, Adam's just going to report him immediately.
Pretty sure that's he's being facetious.
How old is Ray?
That's a rhetorical question. I don't think we have the correct answer for that, according to how cagey somebody was.
That is true. You guys believe Ray is 24, but that is not the correct
Okay.
answer.
Anyway, what happens next is up to Ray. Decimius won't push it. I'm not going to roleplay this, but like he's interested, but he's not going to push it. So we'll move on. But that's up to you, Sean. How far that goes.
All right, I'll send you a message.
that ball is in your court. But yeah. Meanwhile, with the rest of you up here.
So what do you all think of Decimius?
The more he opens his mouth, the less I like him.
You liked him?
There was a moment, a brief moment, the first 5 seconds after we met, and then he started talking.
What about his utility? Personality aside, what do you think?
He's incredibly skilled.
He's a charlatan with magic tricks. I mean,
He's
yeah.
capable in a fight, I'll give him that, but that's about it.
Adam, what's the status on the engineering bay itself?
All good. Systems are online.
Are the doors locked?
No, they are closed.
All right.
Do we need to put up
she'll turn back to the crew and say, I get the sense that he and Ray are, well, they have eyes for each other.
Really?
And separating them might be difficult.
It doesn't help that Ray doesn't have her own room, but that does come in handy with one thing. We could definitely make it an explicit rule: no funny business in the engine room.
You're not suggesting what I think you're suggesting, are you?
Absolutely. If anything, it's a good rule to have on every ship.
No,
I know what
not
Shepard
you.
Oh,
She looks
not me.
pointedly at Aryn.
Aryn says, how many capable engineers do we have on the ship?
Oh no.
The fact that all of our dialogue sounds like a 90s sitcom so often is really sad.
Shut up.
All we're missing is the laugh track.
What? Zan, you can pull that up.
But Zan could very easily pull up a soundboard with laughing on it, I'm sure.
I think Discord actually has built-in soundboards now that you can make.
Yeah.
Even then, even then, you can have voice mod play through your mic.
Aryn will say, like, so far pretty much all of the engineering responsibility has been on Ray. Glover is fine. It's just He's not as up to speed.
Which was one of the hopes, that he would be able to learn from her without her realizing he was learning from her.
Do you know how he's been progressing on that front?
I think the best way to answer
She
that
would,
question would be Ray herself.
or Adam. Adam might know. Or Lucille would probably have a little bit of an idea, because she had been suggesting that he learned from her anyway, so she was probably keeping tabs on that just to keep, make sure somebody had eyes on it. So how was that going, Dan?
I mean,
So-
it's progressing, but I think we talked about it before. You guys haven't actually been flying around for that long. I think the entire length of this campaign has been like a few months. So he's getting better, but not much. You know, like it would take a great deal of time for him to actually learn enough to be significantly better.
He's progressing as, you would expect, but it takes time.
Yeah, like starship engineering is not the kind of thing that you do like a 3-month apprenticeship to pick up, right?
Mhm.
Like this is very complex, very difficult stuff.
Well, you don't want it going wrong at the wrong time, because all of a sudden you're floating.
I will admit Decimius' personality is abrasive in some ways, but he does have talent, and we need all the talent we can get.
You are suggesting this.
Right now, I'm asking what you think. Because if he would be more of a detriment, in your opinion, then it's not even worth considering.
My concern is if he doesn't learn how to watch his mouth, he's going to cause problems with the crew.
The interpersonal relationships that we've already seen, the way he interacts with people, could cause problems. Given Ray's behavior towards him, I have concerns there. Because if there was a situation where it came down to chain of command, I truly believe she would follow it, but I question him. And I worry about the sway he could potentially have on her.
And the potential harms that could be done if he is separated from Ray. Do you think it will be too damaging for her? Because I don't want to lose our engineer if she goes chasing after him.
Don't believe she would. You're her captain. We've been through some shit already, and even with the tough choices that have been made, there's still that level of respect and that level of understanding that I've seen.
All right. Good points. So I take it it's a no from you?
I could see him doing a lot of harm. I am not going to argue he's not skilled. I'm just not sure, given the sensitivity of everything we're dealing in, that personality and those behavior traits are really going to blend well. I see problems. So for me, it's a no. Aside from the fact I'm not a big fan of him checking out everybody's butt. It makes me want to punch things.
Aryn nods and turns next to Arturo and says, as someone whose butt he has not checked out, yes or no? Or any other thoughts you want to add?
From a security standpoint, I don't trust him. I don't trust him not to cause problems in the way that that there's gonna be some kind of security issue, not because he's going to sell us out or some stupid shit like that, but because there's going to be a fight between him and another member of the crew.
So that's a no?
He's got a big mouth and he's gonna keep running it. And no, it's a no. I'd almost put him and his mouth on par with Felix.
David?
Takes a long sip of coffee. Arturo brings up a really good point. Now, don't get me wrong. I talk a lot of shit. I do. But I also respect every last one of you in this room. And I do it out of, I do it out of respect. But, you guys take me for who I am. But I also won't deny this guy is talented. He's very talented. I wouldn't say he's as talented as Ray, but he's not far from Ray. But that being said, there's a lot of sensitive information that gets passed through this ship. And I know Arturo is definitely our guy who keeps an eye on everything, but I don't put it past him to be able to, at one point, he might get the slip on you at least one time. And that's that one time's all it's going to take. And he has access to everything. He'll learn about Snake. He'll learn about, everything.
The thing is, if we were bringing him in as a crew member, we'd be reading him in on all of that.
That's my concern, though. Where do his loyalties lie? I'm not sure they would truly lie with us.
I'll be honest, Aryn. I'd be willing to give him a shot. I know, surprising. I'd be willing to give him a shot because you got to look at it this way. One of our crewmates literally turned tail and ran from us, and we gave him a shot to come back on board. I don't like his personality like the next person, and Arturo's right. He is 100% right, because I can tell you right now, it's either going to be me or Kronk who puts him through a fucking wall. I'll respect him when he respects me. Okay. But that being said, I'm not going to let bravado and testosterone run the day here. No, he's talented. He's good at what he does. I can't deny that. So I'm willing to give him a chance under the condition that he gets his attitude in check. Banter's fine, but respect is definitely needed.
And Aryn did see Eon peek around the door there for a brief moment.
Yeah.
Eon, you can come in. Has Eon been listening to this?
Yeah, I mean, she's been on the other side,
Uh-huh.
eating some. I'm eating Skittles and listening. Not gonna lie.
You want some red?
Ooh, candy.
Hmm.
If we did give Decimius a shot at being a crew member here, I would certainly lay down the law and make sure he understands the conditions for working with this crew. But do you have any thoughts about giving him a chance to join the crew, Eon?
No, not particularly.
Well, what are your thoughts about him?
Well, I think he's cocky. I think he's brash, but like
yes.
everyone else, I think he's talented as well. And we're here to do a job, aren't we? So why let someone talented go? In the long term, he could be useful and helpful, but he does need to be kept in line, because I personally don't just like being left out of the loop and used like he did to all of us. But I do understand why he did it, so it'll just be tough. But I think he would be a good addition, personally.
If we did have him on the crew and he pulled something like he did on the planet, he'd be cut loose immediately.
And just in case you're keeping a tally or like a democratic vote or whatever, Kronk was very clear he didn't want him on the ship. So.
Yeah.
That would actually be another point Ian made, without I'm not sure she even realized she made it. Chain of command. He has to make sure that he understands he's not in command of the situation. 100%.
On the planet, he was very sure of himself because it was his mission. He made that point. But if he does join it, then it would be my mission. Hopefully his attitude would change. We don't have any guarantee of it. And once we've read him in on all this sensitive stuff, there's no going back on that. Now, he is a soldier. I do trust him to keep top secret stuff top secret. He has the clearance for it, I think.
There's going back to a certain extent.
Also, can we trust him not to inform the people amongst the Turian military sensitive information that shouldn't be given out to them?
Well, as a Turian, I trust him to understand classified information.
He is just a reminder. He is special ops.
Yeah.
Right. So class is Sentinel, and he's a talented at engineering, but his he is like a special ops. He's not like a soldier necessarily in the same sense.
Mm-hmm.
So like working
That's
with
actually what
stuff.
concerns me more.
Yeah.
But he does understand like information classification and everything, and like keeping things secret.
Classification, need to know, all of that would be very second nature to him.
So I don't think we have to worry about him being an information leak.
Well, that's the other thing, though. If he's spec ops, he could very easily be they could very easily be putting him in our path in the hopes of having somebody on the inside that will be their information link.
We've shared information links with people we trust a lot less than the Turian hierarchy.
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
And I wasn't exactly for that either.
You did want to share with him. Don't forget that melding is a possibility. Neither of you can lie to each other, and if it turns out that he is an issue, we could always erase his memory of it.
Wow. Go for the gut there.
I like efficiency.
We're not really at a point where we can test drive him, for lack of a better word, at this point.
I'm just gonna look at Eon and be like, "You're awesome."
To be fair, after we complete this mission and bring him back to the to Turian command, we don't exactly know what our next step is yet.
Well, that's something that
a little too early to tell.
That is something we'll discuss. But after we've checked in with the Primarch and gotten the quantum communication system that he's talked about, I do plan on taking us back to the Citadel. We do need to replenish our Omnigel, and I think the crews deserved a little bit of shore leave. Everybody's been at high alert for a good while now. We could also check in on the Cremata relocation effort. Once we're done there, the timing should work out.
We would definitely have to figure out what we're doing with him before checking in on the Cremata.
Of course. But that's why I want to decide it now, because if we're cutting him loose, I want to do it at Palaven, where we can return him directly to his own people.
Look at our missions terminal, and that's the thing. I'm not seeing anything that would be a good test run.
No, if we bring him in, we're trusting him with everything.
Full honesty, if we're just basing it off of capability alone, I'm all for it. But as a whole person, I'm not.
Understood.
So where does that put us?
Well, the last person whose opinion I'd want on this matter would be Ray. And if she'd want to bring him along for the ride, or if she'd prefer a long-distance relationship, or to just have this be a fling. Who knows? For now, I'm content to let them have their privacy. But I do want to come to a decision on this by the time we reach Paladin.
Makes sense.
I assume then you'll speak with Ray in private about that later.
I plan to. If it does come to that, though, Shepard and Arturo, are the two of you both all right with giving him a try, with the understanding that he's on thin ice?
I mean,
He's a resource that could be very good. And I will stand behind your decision and treat him as I would anyone else on the ship.
I wouldn't deny that he's a valuable asset. I'm not going to stand in the way of that. On top of it, and it does make me a little bit more comfortable knowing the fact that should he step out of line, that then he's out.
I'll make that clear to him that the chain of command might be different than what he's used to. I did tell him that Spectre Ops are different in that everyone operates independently. And I also told him on the planet that I like my crew to be able to speak their mind. Which I hope is not doesn't come back to bite us with him.
Here's hoping. Zen, stupid question. What is his rank anyway?
You don't know.
Okay, cool. I didn't think we did.
The Primarch told you that he is a talented engineer and a member of their special operations. And presumably he's pretty up there because he was apparently given command of this mission that pretty much ending the entire war with the Batarian forces hinged on this operation. And he was given control over it. And then also a Spectre in her squad were put under his command as well. So, like, the implication is that he's at the top, basically. For him to have been given this much responsibility, it doesn't make sense for him to be anything but at the top, basically.
I guess it'd be at least the rank of Lieutenant Commander or the Turian equivalent. That was the rank that Shepard was at when...
that or Captain, yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense. Like he was given a lot of responsibility over something very important.
Kind of what I was thinking. I was just curious.
Which the thing about the Turian hierarchy that's kind of interesting is it's just numerical.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a straight line. And the thing is, we canonically don't know what most of the tiers are called. We know that there's 27 tiers of citizenship. We know that the very, very top one is Primarch. We know the bottom one is like Singula, and then there's Service and Civis. Most of them are unnamed.
Right, which is why I gave a comparison to human ranks. Like, he's about there, I'd expect.
Yeah.
They're also very Roman, aren't they?
Spartan, more like.
Well, the translators had to attribute them to something. All right. Well, thank you everyone for your inputs. Once the decision's made, I expect if anyone has any problems with him, to bring them to either myself or the XL, and we'll deal with it. Adam, can you let me know when Ray is available? Please don't make any moves that would cause her to become so prematurely.
Well, at the moment, they're just kind of holding.
I don't need to know what they're doing.
They're not doing anything. They're sitting around talking. What are you being weird about?
Adam, just let me know when Ray is otherwise unoccupied.
What counts as being unoccupied?
When they stop paying attention to each other.
Oh, that might be a while.
Well, if it happens.
I like the idea that like 3 hours later they're like still talking, but they're like working on the engine and talking about ways they can upgrade it. And Adam's like, no, that still counts. I'm never gonna tell her to go meet up.
Don't count. Yeah. Yeah. No. Adam is like, okay.
No.
So Adam will never inform you that she's not busy because I don't think they're going to separate.
Okay. Well, that's okay. If we get to Palaven and there's
You're just
not
gonna
been
get
any
to
alert-
Palaven.
Yeah, if we get to
Yeah.
Palaven, then I will I'll notify them and talk with Ray while we're like making our descent.
All right. Yeah. So as a matter of fact, you do reach Palaven before they stop hanging out, most likely.
All right.
You do have a meth relay, so it's not that long of a trip. Anything anyone wants to do before Palaven, basically. Nope.
Sleep.
All right. Moving on.
So Aryn will ask Shepard to handle getting us down to the surface and landed and everything where we need to be.
Start with procedures for heading in.
All right. And Aryn will put in a shipwide comm. We've arrived in Palaven's system. All crew prepare for landing. Ray, if you could come to the conference room, please. At your earliest convenience.
And as that comes through, Decimius will look over at Ray and be like, I've got things under control here. Go ahead.
Yeah, keep trying to see if you can find a way to clean that scrubber.
I'm sure I'll figure it out.
We'll go up the ladder, and she like walks in and sits down, and then she like looks around. Where's everybody else?
I wanted to talk with you privately. I've already spoken with the rest of the team, and we're considering whether or not to request Decimius be transferred to this command to join our crew.
Oh, he said he would be more than happy to.
I wanted to know.
But we'd have to talk to the Primarch.
Of course. I wanted to know what you thought, though. There's no sense in asking if it's not going to be something that people actually don't want.
Oh, well, I like having him around. He's really smart and he's good at what he does. Yeah, I mean, you even said we needed to find another engineer to make up for our departee, so I think it'd be helpful.
All right. My only concern is, well, two concerns actually. One is his reputation is for being flirtatious.
Yeah. She like looks down at her hands and like rubs them slowly.
And I don't
It's
want
nice, huh?
and I don't want him to hurt you if he starts chasing after someone else. His history doesn't show that he's a person that is easy to settle down with.
That's actually a good point I hadn't considered. Good job, Mark. Her stomach kind of drops a little bit, and she says, we talked about being together, but I told him that I'm not ready for something like that. I've never done that, and I remember when my hands had to touch one of the other crew members. I'm pretty sure it was Shepard, so she'll remember who it was. I just can't remember who it was in the moment. But I remember when my hands had to touch Shepard, it just made me feel sick, the skin-to-skin contact. So I asked him, I told him unless he's willing to commit to me that I'm not willing to, and he seemed very understanding. He's really a gentleman. I know you guys don't like him, but he tries to be nice, but people are just mean around him, and
I understand. The other concern I had was with how he's interacted with the rest of the crew so far. He didn't engender a lot of trust with his actions on the ground team during the night raid, by calling in the enemies to our position without telling us what he was doing. That I think got tempers hot. While it was a strategically sound decision, it did put us at risk. And the fact that he did not tell us did rub people the wrong way. And that, I think, got tempers flared, and that is what caused people to be at each other's throats. So I'm willing to give the benefit of the doubt that we just didn't get off on the right foot. And if everybody can be respectful from here on, then we can work together as a team. But
Aryn,
if that's not the case and he ends up rubbing people the wrong way again, we might not be able to keep him long term.
Aryn, you have to remember a couple of things. I don't know much about Asari culture, but I do know a lot about human and a lot about Turian culture. And Turians are very militaristic. The person who's in charge is in charge. As soon as we got there, we started making orders. We started pushing for things. And I know you've told me you've had lots of other teams in the past. You can't tell me that if you saw advantage in not communicating to the rest of the group that we were about to do something risky, you wouldn't immediately not communicate it to the rest of the group. He was in charge. He got to make that call. Just like you would have.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I'm not trying to defend him. I thought what he did was foolish too, but you have to give him some slack. He went from being in command to being under the command of someone who the only reason that they're in command of him is because the council says so. So obviously that'd be a big change up.
You do make a good point. I have been in command of the missions that I've been on ever since I became a Spectre. It's been a long time since I've actually been under anybody else's direct command, so I suppose when we landed in his mission space, it was his mission, but there was a little bit of, I suppose, misunderstanding between us which one of us was actually in charge of it.
As for the way he's talked with the rest of the crew, I don't like it very much, and I understand that, but I know maybe we don't notice it as much anymore because we're used to it, but our crew, I believe the human term is a peanut gallery. We just make comments under our breaths or behind people's back, and we don't realize that people can hear them sometimes. And maybe it's just because we're so used to being in charge of whatever situation we're in, but you can understand why that might frustrate someone, especially since we were all going off of an assumption that was basically given to us by the Turian Primarch. By the way, I looked up what womanizer means.
Do you understand my concerns now?
Yes. I honestly, I think he should stay on for his helpfulness, and if he decides to pursue someone else, I can't pretend like it won't hurt me. But that I'm not the only member of this mission. Really, it depends on what the rest of the crew said. Because if democratically they want him gone, I would understand.
They're willing to give him a chance. I do think the situation on the ground wasn't the best of test beds, given the command structure. But I'm willing to give him a chance to have more smooth interactions with the crew moving forward, if he's able to.
I think if the Primarch lets him, he'll prove to be, especially once he understands where he is in the chain of command, he'll prove to be a really, really helpful member of the team. But if he does end up hooking up with somebody else, I hope you're prepared to hear a Quarian cry.
if anything like that does happen, you can come straight to me.
Thank you for giving me a chance to engage on this. I appreciate it a lot.
Of course. I'll put the request in when we meet with the Primarch.
Okay, I'll go let him know that we're gonna see if that's okay. He
Alright.
seemed like he would be more than willing when we talked about it earlier. So.
If you'd actually send him up, I'd like to talk with him in private as well.
Okay. Where we'll go down to engineering and be like, "Did you figure it out?"
As a matter of fact, I did.
Excellent. Well, you can tell me all about it, but Aryn wants to talk to you first.
Ah, of course. Well then. I'll see you later, Ray. He comes to stand in the doorway, kind of leaning against it, and says, "You called?"
Please, have a seat. Just wanted to,
Of course.
to have a chat.
And he'll take a seat.
So we're approaching Palaven, and we're planning to meet with the Primarch to debrief him on how the mission went. Do you know what your plans were after that?
Well, my plan was to debrief the Primarch on how my mission went. Following that, it's up to him. He'll either send me off on a new mission or grant me leave. You know, the funny thing is, Ray actually invited me to join your crew.
Yes, I did bring that up with her when we were on Rockham's surface. That it was a possibility.
As much as I'd like to, unfortunately, that doesn't really lie with me. If the Primarch gives me leave, I probably could, with his permission. But it's just as likely he'll have something else lined up for me.
Well,
I certainly wouldn't mind if I'm able to.
Well, I was going to request it of the Primarch.
Oh,
that you'd be transferred, but I wanted to talk with you about it first, to make sure you'd be willing.
Perhaps on a few small conditions.
Well, I might have some of my own, but go on.
Well, I'll be under your command, so I'll be following your orders. I would ask that you curb your crew's bullying, so to speak. It's not a very good work environment to have a bunch of humans snidely deriding me under their breath the whole time I'm working. I'm not really interested in joining a crew like that. I'm sure you understand why.
Of course. I happen to value a crew that is willing to speak its mind, because I don't want to be surrounded by people that will only tell me yes. I like to get multiple viewpoints on anything that we're involved with. So, as a result...
That's a very generous way to describe what they were doing down on Rockham.
Well, I was going to say, as a result, sometimes they feel a little looser in what they say to others as well.
Fair enough.
Tempers were also running a little hot after the incident with the night raid, which was I agree was a tactically sound decision, and if it was me, I might have done the same thing, if not informing the team was of strategic advantage. But we did not fully grasp it at the time, and so I think tempers ran a little hot, and we just got off on the wrong foot. As long as you are willing to be respectful to the rest of the crew, I'm sure they'll be willing to be just as respectful back to you.
All right, then. I suppose we'll see. But know that I won't remain on a crew that regularly insults me for fun.
I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
All right, then.
Of course, this is all pending the Primarch's approval, but
Naturally.
I think the request would have some weight given all the things that you've done. And with all due modesty, the Spectre's request also has some weight to it.
I suppose we'll see.
There's one more thing. Ray is quite taken with you. I take it you are with her as well.
She's very talented, but a little bit naive. Truth be told, I feel a little bit more protective towards her than you may be making assumptions about me. I think she's going to flourish into an incredible engineer. She's already better than me than a few more things that I'd like to admit, to be honest.
Well, the last condition for you joining this crew is this, and she's going to look him just straight in the eyes and just going to say, "Don't break her heart."
That's an interesting condition, Spectre. I'm afraid you're going to have to elaborate because, as you and I both know, we're talking about a very young, very naive, love-struck girl. I like her. I think she's a fabulously talented engineer. She's funny, clever, good-looking. I like Quarians. But the thing is, young love comes and goes. Are you telling me that I'll be sworn to chastity on your crew? Like I'm joining a church? Should I perhaps don one of those black robes the humans wear?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I just know how you are with women, and I don't want Ray to feel like she's been used and then cast aside when someone better comes along.
I haven't done a single thing to Ray, and I don't plan to. I did make the offer, but she wasn't interested, and reasonably so.
All right. Well, just don't make any promises to her that you can't keep.
I've done no such thing.
All right, then.
I cannot, however, control her emotions. If she has made assumptions about what she and I are, I can't control that. But I have made no promises to her. And I have made no unwanted advances, nor have I pushed the issue at all. And you can ask her as well. Or you can check your recordings. I know you've got cameras and audio devices all through the ship. I didn't shut anything down. Our time in the engine bay is at your disposal if you want to verify that what I said is true.
I trust you at your word, and I'm not going to pry.
Fair enough. As an Asari, I'm sure you understand the situation I'm in better than most. After all, you lead lives of breaking hearts left and right. Decades of younger, shorter-lived races falling in love with you and then crying themselves to sleep when you aren't what they thought you were, or you didn't feel the way they thought you felt about them.
Erin's like resting her chin on her hands with like a slight amused smile as he's telling her about her people.
It isn't as though you can be blamed for that, right?
I think you misunderstand how we view shorter-lived races. We normally outlive our partners, But that does not mean that we are so dismissive of them and move on. We value the time with them.
I'm not talking about partners. I'm just talking about anyone who happens to become smitten with you. You're an Asari. You look beautiful to everyone. Are you even aware of the broken hearts you leave behind without realizing it? It's not your fault, of course. You have no control over it, but people just become attracted to you. You and I were a little bit similar in that regard.
People lust for my people more than they end up loving.
Ah, now we're drawing that distinction. I do wonder which one Ray feels towards me. After all, she does have a hologram of Garrus dancing down there in the engine room. Would you say that's lust or love?
I'm not sure. I think it's an infatuation for Turians, probably the same one that you share for Quarians. Well, I do look forward to seeing where your relationship with her goes, if it indeed develops to that point. I just don't want to hurt her. I do care about her.
I think perhaps, Spectre, that it might be best if we're going to work together with those conditions that I keep a little bit of distance. I don't want to hurt her either.
Alright, I'll trust you to do what you think is best.
Of course, and he says, standing up, if I'm going to be working with her as a fellow engineer, it won't be the easiest task to prevent Ray from falling in love with me through no actions of my own. Don't blame me if she becomes obsessed and then can't deal with the reality that I am going to be my own man at the end of the day.
Just as long as you tell her that as well.
Would you rather me make her cry tonight? I don't think she's in the best spot to hear that. Besides, I haven't really made up my mind, to be honest.
You can do what you think is best.
It's a delicate situation. Who knows? Perhaps she is the one for me. The beautiful, talented Quarian engineer who will at long last make Decimius settle down. It's possible. I guess we'll have to see how that goes.
Well, I wish the very best for both of you.
Thank you, Spectre.
Thank
Or
you.
should I call you Aryn?
Aryn will do. You can also call me Spectre or Captain.
Captain.
I'm not as
All right,
picky on titles.
I
I do
always
like
thought the
my name.
I always thought the human ranks sound very silly. Captain. It's especially weird to call an Asari that, but oh well.
Alright, that'll be all.
Alright then. And he's actually going to make his way to the front in preparation for touching down on Palaven. He doesn't return to the engine bay,
Okay.
since you guys are like pulling in now to meet with the Primarch. And as he steps into this room, he goes, "Hey everybody, how you doing?"
Fresh coffee if you need any.
I don't touch the stuff.
Looks at Aryn as she walks in. Would you like a red vine?
Decimius goes, "Are those red vines?"
David's
Yes,
gonna
they
look
are.
up- He's gonna look up from the cockpit for a moment, and he's gonna say, dude, don't do it. They are not dextrose based."
Oh
I know.
shit, that's right, they're not. Fuck, I'm sorry, dude.
I know
Crap.
they are, but I love them. It's totally worth it. It's okay. I haven't had these in years. It's my favorite.
Go for it.
dies.
You're
No.
literally going to die.
No,
I'm pretty
if
sure
it's-
if Ray was here,
It's only
No,
the,
it's not gonna
It
kill
would
him.
just be.
it's only the
It would just be
proteins.
similar to somebody who's lactose intolerant or gluten intolerant
Yeah,
eating
it's-
gluten or
Yeah.
drinking milk. It's not much
as-
different.
Small amounts just cause stomach
Yeah,
cramps.
high protein might be different, but this is
Okay.
a low protein thing.
As someone who's lactose intolerant and doesn't fucking care, like, you make certain sacrifices for the things you love, my dude. Yeah. So yeah, it's candy. It's
Yeah.
not like
It's
there's
not
like
a high
yeah,
protein.
yeah,
no
yeah.
protein in it. It's a fucking
David-
candy.
David
Yeah.
just sits there and just goes, "Oh, okay. I'm just worried about you, man. I'd hate for you to go back home and then, in the middle of a speech."
I appreciate the concern.
Honestly, if we're
Well,
talking about
take a
protein,
couple then.
then the most difficult thing would actually just be sharing meat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Since it was Decimius' mission, he will be conducting the debrief leading the debrief with the Primarch.
Our mission was just to bring him back, right?
Yes, but his mission was the one that we completed on the ground.
He assisted. But yeah, if it's been a while, take a couple. This is the secret stash, though. If you can't find it, don't.
I really appreciate it. Thank you. And he'll eat one. Ah, reminds me of my days on Earth.
Staring at Aryn this entire exchange. She hasn't looked at Decimius as she had offered him the bag, let him take some out. She is dead-eyeing Aryn this entire time.
As you're pulling in, he gets out a pack of like little rolled up silver cylinders, and he takes one out, and he puts it between his teeth and lights it, and it glows blue and lets off a little stream of smoke. It seems to be
Okay, maybe you got a smoking buddy.
What you smoking now?
I
Yeah.
only
Hey,
smoke whenever
hey,
we
I'm
celebrate.
his smoking buddy.
It's
And I
definitely
only,
some equivalent to cigarettes, but not like it's not Earth cigarettes, right? It's some similar thing to that.
Space cigarettes.
Yeah.
I also do
Space.
It's direct.
it.
They're
David
death
just-
stick.
Yeah.
David just shakes his head at Lucille and goes, "Look, I only smoke when we complete an operation. That was an operation completion, therefore I smoked half of a cigar. I still have
That was
the other half."
insanity. And you almost died.
Yeah. So the fact that I was able to smoke, I'm pretty sure Decimus here can agree. The fact that I was able to live through it and smoke, that sounds like a celebration to me. Like,
No
shit,
argument.
could be dead.
Oh, we should be landing soon. Let's get ready to move out.
All right, you guys land, and as before, you are landing in the spire where the Primarch is. The guards outside request for you to put your weapons in the box just like before. Decimius does as well. It's clear that he doesn't get special treatment for that.
We'll proceed with the song and dance.
Yep. And then is all of you, including Ray, coming out for this, I assume?
Yeah, as long as Aryn asks for everybody, then everybody's coming. I'm guessing.
Yes, Aryn will ask for the entire ground team to go.
All right. So the whole ground team goes, and all of you make your way into the Primarch's office, where Decimius pulls up a chair and sits on it backwards, like facing the back of the chair, spinning it around to face the desk. And he says, Novium! Good news! I'm sure you've already heard. And the Primarch says, Decimius, indeed. Things have gone well. I'm glad that you were able to accomplish your mission. Decimius says, so, did they surrender? And he's referring to the Primarch on a first-name basis.
Yeah, that's noted.
Yeah.
This is where we find out that they're brothers.
The Primarch kind of like sits at his desk and says, well, We were able to get the Batarians to accept all of our terms except one. Even though we've offered to turn over all of our prisoners of war, they refuse to give us ours. We believe there are a significant number of Turians, not just soldiers, but also citizens who were living on those planets before they were invaded, that the Batarians have put to work in Batarian space, and they will not give them back. I'm afraid that I can't accept that.
God damn slavers.
They must realize that that in and of itself is a call for war.
Indeed. But it's a war that I don't want. I was desperately hoping they would just take this. While they have largely retreated from our space, they have our people. They're goading us into a counter-invasion. They probably are hoping that they can win if they have the home turf advantage. They're also stubborn. Their leader is vindictive and spiteful. He isn't seeing reason. My negotiations with him are exhausting. He's an illogical man driven by hatred and emotion. He's not thinking straight. He's going to get more of his people killed as a result. I cannot accept these terms. I can't abandon our people out there. However, Spectre, you did exactly what I asked you to do, and it was important. It made great headway. I appreciate it. I'll have my engineers begin to install the quantum entanglement communicator as promised. Unfortunately, we may have to redouble our war efforts to reclaim our people from Batarian space, and as a result, I have no more resources to offer to the Galactic Readiness Task Force than I did before this mission occurred. I realize how disappointing that might be to hear.
They might not be trying to goad you into a war. The Batarian population has suffered so much since the Reaper invasion, they may be looking to integrate your people into their own population to make
That's
up
not
for
what
those
our
numbers.
That's not what our intelligence suggests. They are using our people to make up for their lack of numbers, but as slaves.
They could also be using them as hostages to keep you from further aggression.
Considering the Batarians' culture, slaves are part of their numbers.
We have intelligence reports from multiple planets in Batarian space that the Turians they've taken are being used as slaves. Pretty much across the board, universally, citizens and soldiers. Decimius, I've got one more mission for you. I'll brief you on it after I deal with the Spectre and her crew. And Decimius says, I figured as much, given how things have gone. Should I leave you to it, then? And he says, yes, you can go for now, but stay close by. Decimius gets up and smiles, winks at Aryn, waves at Ray on his way out. And he does like a little bit of a pirouette at the door and then shuts it behind himself. Now then, Spectre. As I said, we are installing the QEC right now. It should be done in a few hours. Following that, I'll continue to try to put an end to this war as quickly as I can, but the Batarians are making it very difficult. I'm going to do everything in my power, but unfortunately, my hands are tied.
I understand. I would like to try to sway the Batarians to our side of this larger conflict, if possible, which would require a conference with their leadership. And if I was able to accomplish that, I might be able to negotiate for the release of your citizens left on those planets.
Believe me, I have tried, and then some. Our best negotiators have tried. Batarian leader will not listen to reason. As I said, he is driven by spite and hatred. It doesn't matter what you tell him.
Do you know who his second in command would be?
Or possibly a political rival.
That's very astute of you. You've surmised exactly what mission I have in mind for Decimius. As a matter of fact, his second in line might be much easier to negotiate with. There's only one way in the Batarian hierarchy for the second in command to become the first in command. I'm sure I don't have to tell you what that is.
Is
I
it
have a
if the
feeling I
first
know where this
dies?
is going.
Sorry, what was that, Ray?
Is it if the first dies?
That is correct.
How many thousands of credits would you be willing to put towards this?
Are you shaking down the Primarch?
No, Ray pulls out.
Ray.
Ray pulls out Mr. Rat's card. Because I might have a contact
Oh.
that can get this done easily.
Oh, damn!
The Primarch sees it, and he seems to... It takes him a moment to recognize it, and then he gets like a look of disgust. With all due respect, Spectre, I'm not going to tell you who to associate with, but I will not be ending this war with Syndicate help.
I didn't think he would recognize the card. That's the only reason Ray flashed it. I'm being completely honest. I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't think he would recognize it.
He does.
Oh, Jesus.
Uh-oh.
With respect, Primarch, the Syndicate might be able to help us with the larger conflict as well.
I'm not going to hear it. We have this under control. As I said, who you associate with is your business. I won't hold it against you. Spectres are emboldened to do what they need to do, work with who they have to work with. But at the very least, for this war, for getting my people back, there will be Turian boots in the ground to complete this operation.
All right, then. No Syndicate. We will not involve them.
The irony being, I think Rat is a Turian.
He is,
but...
yeah.
Yes, he is.
But
Which is why
whatever.
Ray has the card, because she doesn't
Yeah.
want to, bundling up to him while we were killing people.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, the Primarch's reaction to Rat's symbol is a lot more like personal and visceral than you'd expect. Like he doesn't just recognize that it's Syndicate. He knows that's Rat's card, and there's something that makes him really angry when he sees it.
Yeah, so Aryn will say, we do want to bring this conflict between the Turians and Batarians to an end with as few lives lost as possible. Every life lost on either side is a life that is not standing on that front line when the nightmare comes.
You don't want this current leader to be in power when the nightmare comes.
Then I'm in agreement with you that we depose him.
He is exactly the type who would gladly watch the galaxy burn just so his enemies go down with him. Believe me when I tell you that is the type of man that he is.
All right.
In any case, this has nothing to do with you.
Well, all the same, I do offer my assistance in dealing with it.
Why? You have a lot on your plate. I'm surprised that you would, for a second time, offer to get involved in our personal military affairs. I understand it'll benefit you as much as myself for this war to end, but I'm just surprised to see a Spectre willing to put so much of your time and resources into this.
I still see this as a direct extension of my mission. The Turian fleet being freed up to help does help with my mission, dealing with the nightmare. If we can depose the current Batarian leader and bring the other second to the negotiating table, we might be able to leverage the Batarian assets as well, in exchange for something to help restabilize their people.
I see.
The more forces we can put behind the mission that I am on, the more likely the galaxy is to not have another downfall like we did during the Reaper invasion. We need all hands on deck, and if that means we can get Batarian hands on that deck, I want them. You were going to put Decimius on this mission?
That's right.
I was going to ask if you'd be willing to transfer him to my crew. At least on a provisional basis, if nothing else.
Interesting. You got along with him that well?
It was rocky at first, but I think we're starting to work out our differences.
I see.
He's also very capable. I cannot deny that.
Alright then. He brings up his Omni tool. Decimius, come back in here. And Decimius opens the door, slides in and takes a seat. The Primarch says, "The Spectre has made me a very interesting offer. Not only is she willing to assist with your next mission, she actually wants you to join her crew. How do you feel about this?" Decimius says, to explore the galaxy with so many beautiful and talented individuals, and a Spectre no less. I would be a fool to pass it up." The Primarch says, "You could have just said yes." Alright, anyway. Fine then. I'm willing to put Decimius under your command, as long as you will hear out this mission prompt. It doesn't need to be completed right now. In fact, doing it immediately wouldn't be a good idea. We just had a huge military victory against them. They're going to be on high alert. It would behoove you to wait a moment. Let them lower their guard before you go for the heart.
Understood. We can pursue another avenue of the mission in the meantime.
The man you're going to be going after is named Ardax. He is a Batarian warlord. He will be well defended, deep in Batarian space. However, your stealth core should enable you, at the very least, to reach his hiding place. Once you get there, it'll be up to you how to reach him. Very likely he'll be deep inside of a fortified space station, or some manner of fortress on the ground of one of their more secured planets. The Saratoga may get you to this structure, but you're going to have to reach him on foot after that, and it won't be easy. Your goal is just to put him down. Doesn't matter how you do it. Kill him and get out alive.
Understood. I trust that connections to his replacement are being handled from a different approach.
I've had a good relationship with his second in command for a long time. She has tried to talk reason into him on my behalf before. I have absolutely no doubt that if Ardax is removed from the picture, the Batarian leadership will change completely. They will become tremendously more cooperative.
Any chance once it's all over, we might be able to get her to commit Batarian forces to the war or to the task force?
Ardax would have preferred to watch all of you burn. Even if he and his people were dying too, he would have gladly made that trade to watch all of Council Space die with him. His second in command, however, doesn't feel that way. She wants what's best for her people, That's why I've been able to negotiate with her. She's logical. She wants Batarians to survive and thrive. And she won't let pride get in the way of that. I think you have a chance with her. I can't make any promises, but it's a lot better of a chance than with Ardax. He would have laughed you off and had you executed on the spot.
Of course, I have no intention of negotiating with him. I take you at your word that that's not going to be possible with him. But yes, I would be interested in talking with this new leader when she.
This will open the door for the possibility of Batarians supporting your cause. But with him still in power, that door would very much be closed.
All right. Sounds good. If you can pass the detailed mission brief to Decimius, and we will pursue it once tensions have cooled.
I will. It's up to you how long the wait, but as I said, it would just be a good idea to give them time to make the mistake of lowering their guard. Right now, they're on very high alert. They're expecting a retaliation from us after refusing our terms.
A delay would be good. My crew is in need of some shore leave. And in the meantime, we do have plenty of other assets to approach for the task force.
Indeed, you do. Just about everyone in Council space could be a potential ally.
We'll look for them wherever we can.
Do you have anything else, Spectre? Or will that be all?
I think that is all. I'd greatly appreciate the quantum communication device.
Indeed. As I said, it should be up and running in a few hours. In the meantime, why don't your crew and Decimius go enjoy the accommodations of my spire? If you take that hall down, you'll find an open lounge where the staff will bring you whatever you like, though most of your crew will want to avoid anything with too much protein in it.
Of course. We appreciate your hospitality, and we'll try not to intrude on it for too long. Most of my crew is Levo based, so they'll need accommodations on the Citadel once we're able to make our way there. But we will certainly accept the rest and relaxation here.
All right. And he turns around and looks out the window as Decimius gets up and says, "Yeah, follow me. It's a nice place."
After you.
And he'll lead you guys down the hall to a wide open, extravagant lounge. There are a variety of high up Turian government officials here and there, having a drink or a bite to eat. It's huge, so there's lots of room. You don't have to really get near anyone. You can very easily grab a table somewhere that's too far away for anyone to overhear you. And as soon as you do, some staff will come over to take orders, see if anyone wants any kind of drinks or any food.
I think I'm good. I think I'm good.
All right, nobody wants anything?
I will eat the finest meats and cheeses.
Well,
Oh no.
Oh boy.
I'm 1/15th Turian, don't worry.
You
no,
what?
I'm
I don't think it works that way.
not.
It's not your DNA.
My
it's your
great-great-grandma on
proteins.
my dad's side.
They're still 100% Asari.
Yeah, that's true. No,
I mean,
Right.
biologically.
I'll eat something that looks like candy.
Aryn will like have a drink, like something very mild.
In the meantime, you know the drill. Decimius, the Spec Ops engineer, has joined your crew, and sure enough, in your mission terminal, if you scroll on down to your side quests, assassinating the warlord Ardax is what will solidify Decimius's place in your crew.
Okay.
Because they all get a. I have a little system going here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
An assassination mission brings me back.
Yeah. While we're here, let's also we can also take some time to do a little bit more practice on that biotic melding, or that collective melding.
Oh, yes.
We got to decide when we want to try to go for that, because right now he's like a ticking time bomb on our ship.
Yeah.
Who?
Rolt.
Rolled.
Oh.
Rolled.
So what's the next plan of attack, guys?
I was thinking we go to the Citadel, get our Omnigel topped off, get everybody some rest and relaxation. Then after that, maybe check in on the Cremata, make introductions as they're relocated. From there, it's whatever we want.
So when we go to the Citadel, do we want to convince the Council to join the Galactic Readiness Task Force?
I don't think they're gonna. No, that's not that simple.
You're all idiots.
In order to get the Council to join the task force, we need to deal with Syndicate assets. So we need to decide if we want, which side of that we want to go for, or if there are particular Syndicate assets that we want to target to recruit or target to eliminate. I know that we're gonna
Other than the ones that are already targets.
Yeah, Old Dog and Dragon, I think, are the ones that are definitely gonna have to be dealt with. But we do have that Drell Spectre that has invited us to join them in anti-syndicate operations as well.
Drell, you say?
We've got three that kind of tie in with that. We've got the Syndicate or the Council joining, and then we've got the Spectre or perform for the Syndicate bosses, and then we've got Rescue Edie from the Syndicate for Joker.
Yeah, that's the Old Dog.
Just a reminder, here is the nameless Drell Spectre who kind of dropped Aryn like a secret message because you're in with the Syndicate to basically get you in on their mission to dismantle the Syndicate, like take them apart from the inside. You met the Spectre at Snake's nightclub, so like whoever they are, they're also on the inside as well. So this would be like the anti-Syndicate route to go would be to work with whoever this person is.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the next race we're going to try to convince to join? The next species?
Elcor.
Sadly, Elcor aren't important enough to get a space on the list.
Yeah, they're not. They're not even on the mission terminal.
Or the Volus. Jeez.
Oh, Volus.
No, they're not there.
Well, the Volus come along with the Turians, so we don't.
Yeah, true. Okay. Yeah.
I see no Hanar. I am missing my jellyfish.
That's the Drell, which are everywhere.
You know,
yeah.
The Solarians we haven't really
dealt with
too
any
much
Solarians
with them
lately.
What do we need to do to convince the Asari?
Kill your fellow
like, the
student.
matriarch is probably, but yeah, the matriarch is not somebody not in charge of the Asari force. We'd have to speak with the head of their military or their navy.
So the Asari are led by a large council of matriarchs who are kind of like this loose governing body of kind of like a beseech the elders kind of thing going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the oldest and wisest. So like Eon's master is probably counted among them, but she wouldn't be like very active. She kind of just meditates and focuses on herself.
No, but having her help would still help.
It
Yeah.
would. She'd be on your side for this, and that would be a huge help. But you would have to convince more than her. You need to get a majority, most likely. Possibly even more than just a majority. You might, for something this significant, you might need to get like close to unanimous, basically, for them to basically commit their army to you.
No less than 80% of the council.
Yeah, you need to get like an overwhelming majority to make this happen. Yeah.
Time to bust out the pretty
Can't
please
do that
sugar
one
on
yet.
top.
There's the Quarians
The
as
other
well.
major, and then the other major one we have is to interrogate the Leviathan. But the ship needs like hardcore modifications, if memory serves.
You guys need suits too. Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Pressure suit.
yeah, 2181 Despoina is an entirely underwater planet, and from what you understand, the Leviathans exist at a depth that would crush the Saratoga like a tin can, and would pop all of you like grapes. So you need to outfit the ship and yourselves with like pressure resistance gear.
Or
We also
Yeah,
haven't
really,
speaking to the
yeah.
Krogans.
we get a deployable submersible.
Basically, yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
if we're
Is
gonna
what
But we
Okay,
also have to be able to
drugs.
leave afterwards, which is a problem
Mhm.
Yeah.
because the planet tends to shut down electronics and shit.
So
Is it the planet or is it them?
I thought it was the
Well, it-
Leviathan themselves.
It is them, but they're not exactly like friendly towards company. So, Aaron's gonna end
Yeah.
up with a nosebleed.
I will say the Krogans are the next most powerful race that we haven't yet spoken to.
Their numbers are so diminished, I don't know if they're going to be actually as powerful.
Well,
Yeah.
if
Well,
I-
they're
if
ranked
I
as a
think-
700 in the war asset.
Oh, I wasn't looking at that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the funny thing about Krogans is even though the genophage is still going, Krogans, they live a long fucking time.
Hmm.
And it hasn't actually been that, it's been like 20 years since Mass Effect 3. So they're not that diminished.
Yeah,
This would be
there's-
really fresh for them.
Mhm.
yeah, it's pretty fresh. 20 years is not that long. Like they're still pretty scary.
The other,
And even with the genophage, Krogan reproduce faster than humans do. So,
Yeah.
we were talking with about seeing if we could get the Cremata to lend their like massive intelligence and quick learning to solving the Krogan genophage, which I think would bring the Krogan on board.
honestly, if Zan doesn't make us try to cure the genophage as the means to get the Krogan onto the team, I would be genuinely surprised. That's like a reoccurring
And-
theme in Mass Effect.
Well,
The
if it comes,
Krogans, you
if
want
it
to
comes
fix
to
them,
that,
right?
if they want us to cure the genophage, we'll be like, okay, hang on, we'll be right back. Then we go to the Cremata.
You got about 3 days. Go.
Or maybe we do something else for the Cremata in exchange for that.
Good. Good.
Heartbreaker. Aryn, why don't you just go ask real nice? Real nice.
At some point, though, we need to
Yeah.
decide what we want to do about the rest of the Syndicate. Not the ones we are allied to or already targeting, but all the ones that we have not decided on yet. Do we want to try to recruit them, or do we want to take them out to free up council assets?
I think the best way to deal with this is to start a quote-unquote civil war.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Like, if we can get them to start killing each other, then we can pick off factions that would be willing to work with us and basically say, hey, they let Arya rule over Omega for 500 years. We can just let you rule over this chunk of outer space, and you join us, and then everyone's happy.
So we pick a side in the Syndicate squabbles.
Yeah, basically do something that would cause them to civil war against each other, and then pick apart the ones that we think we can make allies with.
It's interesting.
Because it does say eliminate the syndicate threat to free up the council war assets, but it doesn't say we have to kill every member of the syndicate.
It
The
just
remainder-
says they have to not be a threat
The
to us
remainder of the
anymore.
Alliance forces is actually more than anything except the Council.
Yeah, there's 900 Alliance forces available. That 100 is the one admiral who likes you guys.
Yeah, they do have a very large military, especially in comparison to their economy.
Yeah, Admiral Reach is like really likes you guys, like you're BFFs with this dude. He's that 100 basically, like alone. That's just his sway. So the other 900 is like the rest of the Alliance military.
So that
Yeah.
might be the next thing we go for is checking with the seeing what we can do to get the Alliance task force.
Oh shit, you hear that, Shep? We get to go act to deal with our people. Oh boy.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were some of them who already just outright don't like us because of what we've already accomplished.
I'm sorry. Don't
yeah.
like who?
I forgot
The Armada.
the Asari is 50. I think I might have mentioned it, but I'll say that 50 is Matriarch Lazari.
Yeah.
Not her influence, just her.
You did tell us that. Yeah, you told us that was her by
Yeah,
herself.
you did.
You told us that.
Like, yeah, alone. Yeah, because she's stupidly overpowered. Yeah.
I'm gonna sit here and drink the essence of the universe, but you pissed me off. I'm gonna drop a moon on your face.
Yeah, so that 50 is just Lazari.
So, Zan, the Alliance officer that Ray is friends with, according to my backstory, do I know him? Do I have any way of contacting him or a name or anything? Because I left that up to you.
Yeah, so, I mean, you know, quite possibly. I mean, he probably is stationed on Earth somewhere. He's not like super high rank, considering there's like at least there's like 3 active Alliance people in the party. It probably isn't going to be like hugely pivotal that Ray happens to know another one. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because we have like a lot of Alliance in the party. Like you guys have tons of ties to the Alliance already.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of an in we can get because it seems like Shepard and her crew already have a very specific relationship with the Alliance, and it doesn't seem very good. So
I mean, your in is this guy. You have an admiral that likes you guys. He's been like he specifically favored you before. He told you where the Normandy was. He like gave you guys cool weapons, if you remember. Like he issued a bunch of like weapon upgrades for you guys.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, like you have an admiral friend, so that's kind of your foot in the door.
That's the guy, man. That's the guy.
If anyone would know how to free up the remaining 900 in Alliance assets, it'd be him.
Yeah, you have a foot in the door with the Alliance. The Krogan thing, we probably want Dan here for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Quarians, you've got Ray, I suppose. Solarians, you have nothing.
Yeah, we got nothing there.
You got nothing. You're starting from ground zero with the Solarians.
We might want to get the Solarians. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if the second they find out, it's like we're planning on curing the genophage, they're not happy with us.
Yeah, I would want to do the Solarians after the Krogans, because if we do them before, and they have an issue with us curing the genophage, we might actually lose the Solarian assets then. So,
yeah,
I don't want to try to secure them after, so that we're working with all the conditions that might bother them.
I'll be honest, I'm good with speaking with the Admiral again. He's really done a lot of us a solid, and he really helped Jeff out last time we were on the Citadel.
We can do that while we're at the Citadel. We're headed there next.
Yeah.
Unless we want to try. The other thing is if we want to try to solve Rolt's problem. If we think we're ready for that.
How do we determine whether or not we're strong enough to be able to do that?
Well, you're our coach. I think it's your call.
What is Rolt's problem?
I mean, everyone can definitely use some more practice.
The biotic parasite.
Yeah, there's
something's niggling his brain.
Yeah, something biotic has been implanted in him to where he cannot say certain things or it'll kill him. By whoever he was working for. Yeah.
Well, we might as well try, because as long as we're building up an army to go take on this Uber Cthulhu Leviathan thing, eventually we're going to get the notice of Asari Saren, and Asari Saren is going to come after us. So we might as well get as much training in the
Biotic verse as we can.
Salem.
Yes.
Sorry,
Salem.
Taryn.
Salem.
Salem.
Yep.
That's funny.
And if we can get that asset cleaned up, that seems like one that we could do pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Assuming we don't all die.
Yeah.
It'd be good practice at least.
Do you think
Push comes to shove. I mean, we let him smoke. That's cruel.
So do you think we're ready for that?
Wait, what?
Like on our next trip to the Citadel? Like, would we be ready for that now?
So the thing is, you really have no idea. Like, you know that Rolt was working for someone that put this thing in his brain. So you have no idea who it is that he's working for that did this. There's really no like way for you to predict what it's going to be like. Is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not gonna know until we do it.
We know they're a very powerful biotic. So was Matriarch Lazari, who we did this training against, and she was trying to kill us. Like there was that risk at least.
Man, I missed a lot.
It's all in the bots.
Well, like you said.
I know.
we
I just
won't know
haven't had
until
time
we
to watch
try,
them.
So we can definitely give it a go.
What's the
Yeah,
worst?
Ray
What's
doesn't
the worst
like
that
doing the
happens
meld
if
thing,
we?
but-
What's the worst that happens if we fail, Eon?
Brain death.
Death.
For him or for all of us?
Everyone.
Everyone. Yeah. Multiple people.
So if we're going for this, we're gonna want to be sure about it.
If you die in the collective meld, you can absolutely be rendered brain dead.
If you die in the game, you die for real. Yeah.
I mean, you could be kept alive on life support, but you would be brain dead.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So I think that we should try to deal with this because, like Zan said, or like you said, Mark, he's basically a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We'll want the ship to be in a very safe place because if we come under attack while we're in that, we're very vulnerable. So we can either do it here while we're docked at Palaven, or we can wait till we're at the Citadel.
We might.
I would vote for the Citadel.
I would definitely say
Citadel
Citadel
would be
space
best.
would be the safest place.
Okay.
Let the rest of the crew go for shore leave. We lock down and we stay here.
All right. I don't think we tell Rolt until we're ready to do it right then. That way, whoever planted that in him doesn't have any time to prepare. Doesn't give him any time to prepare either, but I think that's our best shot.
I agree with that.
All right. So next time we're at the Citadel, we'll do that, and then, assuming we all survive, shore leave for everybody. 24 hours.
Sounds like a good amount of time to go get drunk.
Well,
Not you, Ray.
we gotta survive first. And then
Well, that's
after
fine.
that,
I'm a little tipsy from earlier.
then after that, timing should work out to oversee the Cremata relocation, make introductions, and make sure everything's going smoothly on that side. Then we can figure out which of these war assets we want to go after next.
Sounds like a plan.
To the Citadel from here.
Well, once the installation is done. In the meantime, we can just relax, take a breath. It's been a while since we've been able to do that.
To impending doom.
To impending doom.
Now, Decimius was going to be sitting with you guys.
Yep.
Would you
Yep.
adjust all that in front of him? All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you're finally done, Decimius is like, huh. All right.
I'll explain it to you, Decimius. I actually want to go back to the Saratoga anyway. I want to make sure they don't mess with any of my systems that I've set up.
Oh, fair enough. I'll accompany you. It doesn't really need it to be explained, though. I got the gist. I'm going to pass on the brain thing, though. With all due.
Oh, that's not even the worst part. We haven't even told you about the nightmare yet. We'll wait till we're on the ship, though.
We have pictures.
That sounds very dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish it was. Come with me. Yeah, Ray, we'll head back to the Saratoga.
Okay.
The red vines are still on the table if you want some more.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't finish the bag without me.
No.
You're going to want...
No.
That's all right. I shouldn't eat more than one.
You're going to want the dopamine rush for what we're going to bring to you.
I don't know if this is a moment of concern or pride, but I'm surprised we didn't sit here and have an hour-long discussion about the morality of assassinating somebody.
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty clear that he's
Ray
worth
was like,
assassinating.
I can get him.
Yeah, that was...
It shocked the hell out of me. Ray was like, I have the perfect person for this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Who are you again?
I've been waiting for so long to be able to use that card, and of course the motherfucker's immediately like, no.
Well, hey, it's alright. We'll find an opportunity for it.
I will note again that it seemed like the Primarch knew rat symbol specifically, and it upset him.
I get the sense that they have history.
Sure that is not missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's some bad blood.
Yeah.
I'm still under the impression that Decimius is just the Primarch's annoying little brother.
Or nephew.
I mean-
Probably nephew.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah, something.
You know, the Turians are often portrayed as rigid and by the book and everything. It's actually kind of nice to see one being a little casual.
Yeah. He grows on you, I guess.
Breaking the norms.
He likes red vines.
Countering the stereotypes.
I mean, you had to eventually find somebody who likes red vines.
It's
Shut
just the
up,
same
David.
as somebody you don't actually like.
Telling me to shut up doesn't change the fact that it's true.
He likes Ray. He likes red vines.
He likes himself.
He's
Very
still an
much so.
Yeah,
asshole.
he does.
But he's not that. I get the feeling he'll do the job, and that's what's important.
Mm-hmm.
You'd say he's not the biggest asshole we've met on these missions.
No. I did tell
No,
him
he's not.
that as long as he respected the crew can be expected to respect him. So trying to put behind us what happened on the surface, move forward.
Then again, thanks to unforeseen events, the biggest asshole that we've met on this mission is no longer an asshole.
Well, true. Still not sure
New
how
day,
I feel
new
about
mixing.
it, but
I don't think any of us are particularly certain how we feel about that.
no. But she did bring up a good point. Like, would it have been better for her to kill him? I don't think so.
No, that definitely would have been a much more immediate response.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
I think it was probably actually the best outcome, even if the morality of affecting free will was questionable. But given the alternatives, it's understandable. I manipulate
just
people's
call
mind
it
on the
very-
battlefield all the time.
We'll just call it very invasive therapy and leave it at that.
Listen, I just want to erase someone's memories. Let me do it already.
Eon, please no.
Christ, Eon.
Eon, no. Like, I like my memories. They're very nice memories.
You
I'd
would-
rather.
Well, anyway, you're informed that the quantum communicator has been installed, and that you're good to go.
All right then.
All right.
All right, I'll take us back to the Citadel if you need to. If you're ready, Aryn.
Yep. Give the Turians our thanks for their hospitality. Take us out
Already
and
done.
set course for the Citadel.
All right.
By the way, you will want Kronk for the collective meld thing. So
Oh
we
yeah, for
probably
sure.
actually do it without Dan. Yeah.
Yes, I don't think we're doing it tonight, but like we're
No.
heading to the Citadel,
Yeah.
The more biotics, the better.
restocking our Omni Gel, maybe
Yeah.
reaching out to the Admiral, just to let him know that we'll want a conference and like set a date in a few days, maybe.
Yeah, certainly. Let me know when you want to do that, and I'll pull him up, and you have a quantum communicator now, so you can just like call him.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So just let me know when Aryn wants to actually do that.
Okay.
Oh,
Though I do love that Dr. Faye is on the ship now permanently.
yeah,
Yeah.
Faye's awesome.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. She'll kind of lean over Ray's shoulder and be like, "So, what are you doing?"
Well, we still have these, and I don't feel like losing any of my friends, so we need to figure out a way to either make them useful or we need to get rid of them. And Ray will pull out all the vials of Z-Shot.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I also would like to synthesize this for its base elements, and she'll pull out the ambrosia.
I can't really help you with that, she says about the ambrosia.
And if we have time, I would like to examine the genophage in its current state and see if there's anything we could do to try to help with the process of getting it out of the Krogan system, or at least diminishing it.
Aren't we ambitious? Says Dr. Bryson. Holy shit, the genophage? Slow down. What? Alright, well, look. The Z-Shots were developed in my lab. I was the project leader for that. This was the shit the military actually wanted out of bringing back the Rachni. I can tell you now that a lot of scientists with a lot more equipment than this failed to make it any safer than it is, but for what it's worth, I can tell you exactly what it does and exactly what your survival chances are. If you want.
That's a good start.
All right.
But from what I've heard about the genophage, I hope Kronk doesn't hear me. No real doctor has ever actually tried, and if one has, and then Ray will say, I hope Shepard doesn't hear me, they were promptly stopped from making that decision. So I think we might be able to actually do it. I'm a quick learner, and as far as I know, you're one of the Alliance's best xenobiologists.
I am the best xenobiologist the Alliance has to offer, and I'll tell you right now that, at least within the scientific community that I've worked in, genophage is something you don't really talk about. It's tied up in a lot of politics. It's not the sort of thing you're supposed to be looking into.
Look, Kronk's coming from a dying race, and he's a good person. He doesn't deserve that. The entire race doesn't deserve that. If you don't want to help me, I'll figure it out myself.
Does your captain know that you're up to this right now?
Kronk does, and if Kronk does, then the captain knows, and if Kronk decided not to tell the captain, well, that's his business.
Awesome. She's gonna go over here, get on her Omni tool. Hey, Captain. I got something to talk to you about real quick.
Of course, Doctor. Something the matter?
Yeah. So Ray apparently is trying to cure the genophage in our sick bay. Is that on the up and up, or?
Well, it wasn't specifically run by me, I don't think, but I'd never discouraged it either. It was something we had been considering doing through the cremata, but in due time.
Huh. Well, at least there's not a Solarian on this ship, I guess. You probably don't want to advertise that you're doing this. There's a lot of people who wouldn't be a big fan of it.
Shepard, can you report to the medical bay?
Takes her cup of coffee.
Thank you for your concern, Doctor. I'll make sure to keep that in mind when we're handling this.
For what it's worth, I'm neutral on the subject. I'm a scientist. How our discoveries are used is something for the politicians to figure out. But my entire time in the scientific community, genophage was something that we were not supposed to touch with a 10-foot pole. So I'm a little bit surprised to discover that your Quarian is just mucking around with it in the sick bay of a ship. But hey, it's your crew.
If you're worried about it, that must mean you're optimistic about our chances to solve it with those few resources.
No, I'm not. It's incredibly stupid.
Okay.
But if the wrong people learn that she was fucking around with this thing that's completely out of her depth, she might still get in trouble. And by extension, you.
Duly noted. Thank you.
All right. She's gonna go back to her spot.
Jojo, do you need to head out?
Yes, I do.
So,
Walks
Shepard,
in with her cup of coffee and
Right.
goes, I really hope you're not expecting me to have any sort of knowledge when it comes to the conversation I just heard. Because that is so far outside of any sort of skill I have.
actually, you might be the only one who does have knowledge of it. You see, your mother, I believe, recruited a Solarian by the name of Morden Solus. He was part of the team that was dispatched to Tuchanka to deal with the Krogan issue. Well, I don't know much. The STG is very particular about their keeping information hidden away. But if he had a way of curing it, then maybe he left notes or something with himself or possibly one of his students. Do you have any way of accessing your mother's old records or files? And I'm not talking about through the Alliance. I'm talking about, do you have any way of accessing her files through Cerberus?
Cerberus?
Yes. Didn't she work with them for about 6 months after her 2-year hiatus?
That's a nice way to refer to being dead.
What? She was dead?
Yeah.
Ray will turn and look at the doctors. Is that possible?
Yeah.
They're both just like, what? They were both engrossed in what they were doing, and
Shepard died and came back to life?
Evelyn Crow is like, oh, I mean, theoretically. Bryson says, I've never heard anything about it.
Yeah, everyone thought she was just on a mission for 2 years, I thought.
I do know, says Bryson, that Cerberus were up to a lot of shit they shouldn't have been. They made great strides in many different fields of science, but they did so through extremely unethical means.
Interesting. That's very strange. Anyway, back to what I was asking. If there's a way that you might be able to access her files when she worked with Cerberus, then we might be able to find a contact or any information that the Morden Solus had written down, or someone that might have some sort of link to this. And if that's a possibility, then we might be able to jumpstart this process. It could turn what could take years and years into hours or months.
I've never actually gone digging for much on her. And I definitely have never tried contacting anything in regards to that. I can take a look into it. It was honestly not something I ever thought I would do, but
Well, if they're going to release her
It's-
private file to anyone, it's going to be her only living in.
True. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what's even out there to do.
If we show up with a cure or even just a suppressant for the genophage, I think the Krogan are going to be a lot more likely to accept helping us.
Well, let's not run too far. Let's see if kind of takes a look around the lab and sees the stuff that's set out and just you do what you do best, Ray, and be smart as hell. I'll see if there is even a chance of a lead of something that maybe will attach to something, but there's probably she looks lost for one of the few times you've seen her on this ship. I'll do my best, but I can't even say I can't promise anything. This is a long shot of a long shot for a long shot.
The idea that me in a lab crammed into a out of date ship would be able to cure the genophage even with the help of the most advanced xenobiologist in the Alliance space is a long shot. The fact that this ship is going to take down a space devouring creature is a long shot. We're working almost exclusively with long shots here.
No lies detected.
All right, well,
Cerberus
let me
is
know
long
if-
gone, but there might be something out there. I'll see what I can dig up without getting more eyes on us.
It may end up just being a case of us getting Edie back.
Or there might be other ears that might have information that would be helpful in preventing the universe from ending in a puff of biotic doom. Knowledge is power, isn't it? She says to the room.
All the nerds.
Bryson kind of sighs at that, like it's kind of an overused. But Evelyn
Oh
Crow is
no.
like, yes, indeed.
And that wasn't for any of them. That was for the extra ears on the ship.
They thought you were talking to them.
Ah.
So.
I know.
No, you're literally talking to the room.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll see what I can do, Ray. But
Yeah, if nobody stops Ray, like the entire time she's not like required in engineering, she's basically like a hamster on coffee jumping from thing to thing to thing. Like a little bit of research on the Z shot here, a little bit of research on the genophage here, reading a book about ambrosia here. She's just all over the med bay all of a sudden because there's a chemistry set. She's gotten bored of working with engineering. She wants to go back to her medical roots.
Dr. Bryson, could I speak to you in the hall for just a second?
Of course. And by the way, for its worth, here is the information that Faye Bryson has offered on the Z shot that was developed. Here's what it does.
Damn.
Hey, Mark,
Yeah.
if you get a good enough prep dice, we could really take advantage of that.
I'm not going to let you prep dice this.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I'm not going to let you do it. The point of this item is the tension. Like it's very, very good with a very big drawback. I want tension here. I'm not gonna.
Can't prepare for that.
That's not in the spirit of this. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
However,
gonna prepare for not death.
if you have a con save high enough, you can at least guarantee success for a few times.
Yeah, definitely. We have some people in the party who can probably take at least 1 or 2 with no risk.
I mean, honestly, if we can get someone who we can guarantee they won't roll a crit fail, we could probably have someone who could take all 9 of them and be okay.
They had advantage on con saves or whatever.
9 plus 5 would be 14 for the last one.
Yeah.
You have to have a modifier of 13 for that.
Yeah. Dr. Bryson says as well that she says, I don't really have the means to produce any more of these, but if you guys end up liking them, theoretically I could pursue that. But I don't recommend it. They were never approved for use by the military for obvious reasons.
Considering the high percentage chance of death.
Yeah, the Z-shots are considered a failure, officially speaking. But, I mean, if you're desperate enough. Anyway, she's in the hall now with Shepard, and she says, what did you want to talk about?
Can you please make sure Ray doesn't kill herself with her new endeavors? She's young, she's excitable, she's on a mission apparently, and I'd like her to at least sleep once in a 24-hour cycle. Even if it's just a couple hours.
I'm sorry, Shepard, but unfortunately your Quarian isn't my responsibility. She has seniority over me on this ship, and also I'm very busy. I can't babysit.
Valid. Would you let me know then if she seems to be going downhill significantly? I'll keep an eye on her and check on her every 12 or so.
If I notice something like that, I'll let you know.
I appreciate that. And thank you for all your help.
Of course. Alright, folks, that is a wrap for tonight. Next week, we will be doing the collective meld to try to free roll of whatever has been implanted in his mind. And in doing so, perhaps recruit another permanent addition to the crew. Or you'll kill him. We'll see.
And the rest of us.
Huzzah!
Yay!